Hey guys, how's it going? Ed here with another video, and today I've been lucky enough to be joined by none other than Sarah McCartney from 4160 Tuesdays. She's come down to Cambridge today, and we've just sort of hang out, can have a bit of a natter, have something to drink.
Here's the coffee. Look, here's the coffee.
Oh, we have coffee coming.
Excellent.
That's always good.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you.
That's mine. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant, super.
Hot
Just
chocolate.
put it there.
That's just there for you.
Hot chocolate is always good.
Right.
So anyway, let me start by wishing you a very happy Fragrance Week. I believe that's a thing.
It is National Fragrance Week. It's
That's
a thing.
happening, which is great. And maybe you could just start off by telling people what it is that you're actually doing in Cambridge today, because you went to a little...
I did. I went to a very, very technical conference about fragrance analysis, gas chromatograph mass spectrometry, and liquid analysis.
Wow.
And all kinds of fascinating ways that the industry uses to find out what's actually in the raw materials and what's in finished fragrances as well.
It sounds absolutely fascinating.
It's amazing. It's also really expensive, but yeah, I was in a room full of people who actually knew what they were doing.
Wow, that's
refreshing.
refreshing.
It was great. I learned bucket loads. Yeah, it was great.
Brilliant. So while we're here, why don't we talk a little bit about fragrances, specifically niche fragrances, as you are a niche perfumer yourself. What are you working on right now? I know you've done a lot of collaborations, and what's sort of new with you in the realm of 4160 Tuesdays?
I'm working on something I can't tell you about, but that's out soon. I'm working on something else I can't tell you about, but things I can tell you about. We've got one called Freeway, which is a collaboration with LucidScents in Los Angeles for their 15th birthday, and this Freeway is a three-way collaboration between them, ours, and our chief butler and actor Arthur McBain, and our impressions of Los Angeles. And it started when I went out to sniff a Maserati parked in LucidScents car park when I was there. So it's actually going to be the post running out of oil fragrance of a freeway, when freeways have become picnic areas. And
that sounds brilliant. I'll be fascinated to get my nose on that.
Cool.
How do you feel about the growth and the expansion of the niche fragrance industry? Because from what I understand, within the fragrance industry in general, that is the part that is experiencing the most growth, and there's so many brands. It seems like there's a new niche brand every day that's coming out in the market. I was just wondering what your thoughts were on this expansion, if it was good, if it was bad, what the pitfalls were, where you see it ending, if at all.
Well, I don't know, maybe we're about to hit the fragrance bubble, like the tech bubble. You will get investment, you will get big companies wanting to back small companies when they can see that some of them are being bought up by the big guys. So you always get a lot of people jumping in thinking, hey, I could have a fragrance, I could set up a company, and but you see some coming and going, you see some crashing before they actually manage to achieve launch. So that was a bit doomy and gloomy, wasn't it? Niche is the area that's growing, but still, of the market, niche is that much, and so its growth can be big, and it's still going to be tiny. But you get more indies coming in because there's.
How would you differentiate between niche and indies? Is it a financial thing, or?
Indie, well, I kind of go with the Arts and Olfaction Awards definitions. Saskia Wilson-Brown from, she says that indie is, actually no, that's more like Indian artisan, but indie has to be where the owner is responsible for the creative direction, and it's not like the niche fragrances that say Guerlain and Chanel bring out, which they call niche because they're only available in a few specialist shops. That doesn't count as indie.
Right.
Although indie obviously sits in a little niche.
Yeah.
And then you get artisan, which is where the company is actually owned by the person who makes the fragrances by hand. So
it's interesting getting sort of clarifications on these the distinctions between indie, niche.
And really what you're talking about is how small is small within 1% of the market.
Yeah.
Most of the rest of perfume is still made by the 5 big guys.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, do you consider the likes of like Les Exclusives and Tom Ford's private blend line to be niche nowadays? Now that they've become so popular and so out there, and they've sort of permeated mainstream consciousness. Like I have friends who aren't really into fragrances, but because John Lewis now sells Oud Wood, for example, they know about Oud Wood, they know about Neroli Portofino, they know about Tobacco Vanille, and it kind of sort of it goes down the rabbit hole like that. So would you consider brands, lines like that from the big guys, from your Guerlains, Tom Fords, Duos, whatever?
Are they niche or are they just really expensive?
Yes. That's the question.
I'm not sure there's an answer. I think when the big guys are thinking, just a minute, we're really great at making perfume. There are some little companies here charging £300 a bottle or something, and we can do better. Why not we make perfume for £300 a bottle and put it in our stores? I mean, if I were Chanel, I'd probably do that. Because, those fragrances are great. The Guerlains are great. They probably could release them for £80 a bottle if they wanted to. But, for the economies of scale and poshness of bottle, and they can use some more expensive materials in order to, nudge them up to there.
Yeah.
I have no answer.
Okay.
That was a long way of saying I have no answer.
Okay. That's fair enough. That's cool. So, I know that you have a lot of fragrances in your portfolio at the moment, and you're always busy, you're always working on something new, you're always collaborating with people. How do you manage to keep that same level of quality while making so much without suffering any kind of a drop-off? I mean, for me personally, whenever I see a brand that starts off small and that does more and more stuff in a very short period of time, it worries me about, like, when is there going to be a drop-off? Because it's eventually, I kind of feel like...
Well, the thing is that, I started off I made 6 fragrances, which it turned out that people really liked. But it's a bit like, let's say you wrote an indie band and you learn a few chords and you get really good at singing your set of 10 songs, but you can't sing anybody else's. So you get, but as you practice more and more and more and more, you learn more and more and more, you get better and better. You then can, you improve. So I like to think that actually I started off like an indie band, able to make fragrances that I make. And now if somebody says, can you make me one that smells like that, and that? I go, okay, fine, now I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Whereas in the early days I could possibly not. So I still think I have a load to learn, and I don't necessarily think I will get worse at it. But I suppose I probably made some in the early days at which maybe I didn't know how they're going to turn out. These days I think, right, I want to be there, and I construct where I want to go with it, just because I've had much more practice. It's different with the indie. With the indies we do learn as we go along. Whereas it's a bit like classically trained musician, like I am. I learned how to play everything on the clarinet, so now then I could get a job.
Yeah.
Whereas, classically trained musicians do that. Classically trained perfumers learn everything, how to make everything, and then they go get a job. As indie guys was like, oh hey, how am I going to make this? And I smell that. Oh, I need this. I need to put this in it. So we learn as we go along. So. And I'm busy, but now I have more help in the studio, so I still probably get to spend as much time on making perfume as I did in the old days. It's just that now somebody else does the bottling most of the time.
It's brilliant.
Sometimes it's me. Yeah.